Cristina. Welcome to DMD show. Today I'm joined with my co-host Nailah
Hi.
and our guest Deborah. She's an actress and a TV presenter. So how are you, Deborah?
I'm really good, yeah. And the sun is shining.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So, yeah. And obviously, well, hopefully, God willing, we're coming out of lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, good. Thank you. It's just been such a crazy time, hasn't it? And I think it's been so difficult for everybody. And I can't believe how excited I am that we can even just have some level of freedom again.
Yeah. Yes. You're very correct. Yeah. So how did it affect you, the whole pandemic thing with the lockdown? Did it affect you in a positive way or in a negative way?
Interesting. I think it affected me in both ways.
Okay.
And on the negative side of things, I think it made me isolated from the people that I love. And it was very difficult in the early days. I was taking emergency packs to my mum and dad because they're in their 90s and they live near Brighton. So it was, it was a mean feat, even sort of getting there, because I just couldn't get any shopping. I mean, it was just, it was terribly isolating for everybody. And I'm a very social person, and I know what I want to achieve, and I'm always out there. I'm always networking. I'm always speaking out, all the time. For diversity and cultural integration, and it's very much part of my plan. It's what I do, and I felt that, like we're doing this today, and it's very nice, to be able to see you, and it's the only way we can do it. But under normal circumstances, of course, we would meet, and we would be able to embrace in a normal way and do what we as humans are used to doing, which is interaction.
Yes.
And that's very much what I missed on the negative side. But on the positive side, I published a book.
Congratulations! Amazing.
It went to #1 bestseller. It's my 8th book, but I had no idea how popular this book was going to be, and I put it together. It was always with the theme of cultural diversity. So it actually made me sit down. I had no excuses. I couldn't say, well, I don't have the time to do it, because I did. So that was the positive side.
Amazing. Today we have questions for you.
Okay.
And our first question is, can you tell us who is Deborah? How will you define yourself?
That's interesting, isn't it? I think what defines me is definitely my ability to bring people together, but also to be a spokesperson for those people, and to actually, well, I hope, to make a change.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So what do you do, Deborah?
On the sort of Deborah Jay Kelly theme, I am a fashion show presenter, a host, a voiceover. I'm an ambassador for lots of diverse, for minority charities. That's really where my passions lie. And I would say that it actually embraced me, not the other way around. They actually came to me, and through that, I'm just incredibly, humbled about how people accept me into their world and want me to be a part of it as well. And so, I see that as being an important part for me to actually speak out where I can. I've done a lot of reality TV. I've been a journalist.
Oh wow, amazing!
I've got a beauty school. I've got a skincare range. I've written books. It's all kind of part of the brand of Deborah Jay Kelly. And if you ask me why, I would say because I want to leave a legacy. And I do believe that I am making a change, because I'm continually talking about integration. I'm continually talking about older women being forgotten.
Right.
And they need to be, identified as being amazing women with experience. So, so that's where I am. And I suppose I'm like a bad smell. I won't go away. I just continue to do it. I don't care what people say. It's something in me which it's a drive.
Amazing. So, Deborah, tell us, what is your drive? How do you get so inspired in doing what you do?
I got involved in all of these things as a natural progression. I'd always been in media anyway. I'd been a journalist, and this was from 17 years old. But it wasn't until much later, when I became like a more mature woman, that I decided that, this was really the way that I wanted to go. And I wanted to make a change. And, there will be nothing that will stop me from doing that, because I actually feel like I am making a change.
Amazing. So, you spoke a little bit about, you said something about you like to reach out to older women. Do you find that older women may, throughout the time, may lose their confidence, may lose their self-esteem?
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons why you decided to really focus on, not focus on, but you wanted to give older people, older women, inspire them through what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very deep subject, and you probably don't have the time for me to tell you everything. But I think that, yes is the answer to that. Yes. And women generally, some of them don't get a chance to wear makeup. They don't have time to do it. Some don't get a chance to look beautiful. Some of them don't get a chance to put a ball gown on. Some of them don't get a chance to go out anywhere. And this was really flagged up for me. I was trying to think about this. I think it was about 15 years ago now, and I work for an African, he had a TV channel, and I did quick tips, actually, interestingly enough, for African Caribbean women. And I was like, well, why would you ask me? So I went and investigated, I researched, I did everything that I possibly could. And we did things like, we put little hair into the roses, like the little roses in the hair, and we dressed these women up, and we did lip tips and makeup, just quick ones. And they felt marvelous. And why shouldn't they? So that's the thing. I guess because I am in my 50s, I do feel more passionate about this, because I guess I won't talk about it too much, but I was very ill for 10 years in my 30s. So I kind of felt like I wrote off a lot of my life. And as I got older, I noticed that everywhere I went, people were looking for younger women. They were saying no to me all the time. No, you're too old. No, you're too short. No, you're too fat. You're too this, you're too that. And it was never, ever enough. And I just thought, you know what? I'm really fed up with this, and I want to make a change. And if they won't change it, I will change it. That's why the Model Diaries was born, because it's got women of every size, every colour, every creed. And it's a 7-part series. This is the first one. So my aim is to take all different women who aren't classic, they're not models, they're not on the catwalk, and make them models. And I really believe that we can do that. So, so that's it. So I couldn't change it. So I changed it myself.
So tell us about midlife crisis, because you did mention that when you were 50, you did mention that when you were 50, that was when you started wanting to do all these things. So do you think that is part of midlife crisis? You're just wanting too much? You feel like you're losing out on everything? So tell us a bit about that as well for women.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be, as I say, I decided that I would be a yes person, and it changed my life. And I'd also decided that I was going to stop being what everybody else wanted me to be, and I was going to be myself. So I menopaused at 45, and I think that makes a great change in women. Certainly, like the midlife, the whatever it's called, spread. You have to write things down. I have to write notes down. I go upstairs and I forget what I've gone up for. Then I have to come back down and have a look to see what it was. Then I remember, and then I go back upstairs. And this is the whole thing, your memory as well. It completely changes you as a person. I'm laughing because it really does, and that was just a classic example. I get talking and then I completely forget what I was talking about in the first place. So yeah, I mean, we do, but no, I want to change it. It doesn't matter how old I am. I'm on the stage and presenting, and I still model and stuff like that. And so I just feel passionate about women and men being made to feel wonderful. And I don't think that it should be only a stick thin woman that's on the stage. And I've talked about this before, because stick thin women aren't the only women that buy fashion. Everybody, every shape and size buys fashion. So why wouldn't you want to show those dresses in what I can imagine myself in? Nailah, you could imagine yourself in, you know, so because that's what we're looking for. And that's what I don't get. That's why I want to, you know, I want to continue doing what I'm doing.
Okay, so outside of your work, what do you like to do?
I love dancing. I mean, my thing really, you know, I love nature. I love traveling. I love the simple things in life. Like I've got blue tits nesting in my garden at the moment. I've just had babies, and the babies are coming out and they're teaching them to fly.
Wow!
It's really simple nature stuff that I absolutely adore, and just, you know, being an outdoorsy person actually, and networking. I love networking. I love, you know, putting kind of my, you know, my bio or whatever out to other places and for lots and lots of people, because people bring so much to your life. And people that are different as well. You know, you want different diversities, you want different cultures, because they teach you about life. You know, otherwise you'd be living in a box.
That's amazing. So Deborah, tell us, what has been your own option? What has been your biggest challenges so far, being in your career, in what you do, also as a woman?
Yeah, I think for me, it's about really understanding who you are, and also making sure that you surround yourself with people that lift you.
True.
Because when I didn't have any children, when I got married, he already had a child, and it wasn't in question to have another one. And because I'm supposed to conform with society, I find that, you know, for many, many years, I was just having to try to keep everybody happy by saying, oh, you know, yes, I couldn't have them and I really miss them and all of this sort of thing. It is what it is. And we're all made in a different way. You know, some of us are made to be mothers and some of us aren't. I mean, I know classically, the ages, of course, we were, you know, this was the difference between the man and the woman. The man worked.
Yeah.
I know this because I've got elderly parents and this is how I was brought up. And then, you know, the woman was the housekeeper and the mother. But I just have an incredible business head. I always have had. And I think sometimes you just have to step back and say, this is who I am. And I'm really proud of that. You know, if I wanted a child, I would have no problem because of my childhood to adopt or to foster. No problem at all. But I'm 55. I really don't feel like I could have that with it. You know, when you ask me how have I achieved all these things, I probably achieved them all because I didn't have children. Because when you have children, your children come first. So these projects that I have are all my children.
Oh, I love how you put that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody's different. I totally agree. You know, everyone is different. Not everyone is meant to get married. Not everyone is meant to have children. You're right. So you can't actually judge people. What advice will you give to young adults?
Well, I think the hardest thing that we have to think of when we're young is what we want to do and where we want to be in life. Sure. If we know where we want to be, that's a bonus. Yeah. So if you know your path or where you see yourself as being, as I always did, then that's going to be the path that you want to take. And as a young person, I would say, number one, don't allow people to say that you're no good at it. Number two, don't allow them to say no. And if they say no, make it even greater in your mind to go and do it to somebody else. Because some of these greatest people that have, I mean, there's so many, I haven't got time to talk about it, but so many people have said no to people who are now like, you know, massive publishers, multi-billionaires. And if they'd listened to that, then I actually listened to something this morning. It really resonated with me. It said they were talking about when you apply for something and you get told no, right? When you really, really want something and they say no to you. And they said, how many times do you think that you would try again once you've been told no? And the answer was once. because once they're told no, they won't do it again, because you've really, really destroyed their confidence. And I thought about that today. I listened to that and I thought, how many times have I actually given up because somebody said no to me? Thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And what could I have achieved if I hadn't have let that be a negative thing? You know, if I'd then said, no, I'm going to try again, but harder this time, or in a different way, or in a different capacity. So my advice to young people is, if you know where you want, and that's the main thing, isn't it? Trying to know exactly where you want to be in your career, in your life, you know, what you want to do, and then going about getting it, and not letting anybody say no to you, and just keep going and going and go blind. I didn't make my name until I was 50. You know, I'm probably bigger now in the industry than I ever was. Now, I had no idea. You know, I sort of retired at 50. I'd got dodgy knees and I'd had a broken leg, and you know, I thought, oh, this is it for me now. And then all of a sudden, like, everything started so sometimes I think when we want it as well, we want it so much, sometimes we block it. You know, sometimes you've got to let go and say, I've already got it, you know, like, fake it until you make it.
Okay, just a quick one just before we go on the topic. Tell us, what is your goal in life?
To leave a legacy behind.
Okay, amazing.
That's very much what I'm working toward right now. I've got another book being published, actually, because there's something that's going on in my life. I don't know how long I'll be here. That sounds dramatic, but it's true. I actually don't. So my thing would be to leave a legacy, and that's very much what I'm doing every day. It's very important that I make an impact, so that when, you know, or if things happen, I can leave a certain legacy behind, and that is cultural integration and love of every, you know, every colour, every creed. It's really important to me.
Amazing, congratulations.
Thank you.
So the title of the topic is plastic surgery.
Okay.
In recent years, a lot of Black women have been having it and getting harmed, and have been dying at alarming large rates. What's your views on it? Why do people do it? And ways to do things? Is there any ways to do things safely instead of cheaply?
To try to kind of make it general, because I get ladies of all cultures come here, you know, into the Angel Academy, and I see it all the time. And the problem that you've got with Afro-Caribbean skin is keloid scars, number one. Number two, hypopigmentation. So if you mess about with your skin a lot, you know, with things like IPL and laser, you could actually cause hypopigmentation, where you start to get the white, you know, they're like the vitiligo.
Yeah.
So there's always been these dangers associated with Afro-Caribbean skin, and I'm amazed sometimes at how the salons that I go around as an inspector, you know, are actually treating African ladies with stuff that they shouldn't be treating them, because it's too abrasive, you know, and it can cause scarring. The society now that we live in is a really scary one. And I'm really glad I'm not young now, and I don't have children that are approaching teenage age, I'll be honest, because I'm seeing this revolution of cosmetic surgery booming. There's the, you know, Kim Kardashian and all of the, you know, the what they call Instagram for young girls, right? Insta. They're all looking at these Instas with all these boobs and these backside and bottom and whatever, and it's making them feel like they're not good enough. And this is shown. I wasn't aware that particularly the Afro-Caribbean industry, I was aware that generally young women, even girls of like 10, 11, are already being made aware of what surgery they can have. And I think social media has a lot to answer for. It's offered some tremendous benefits in terms of, you know, like today we're able to talk on Zoom, and, you know, we're able to promote this via YouTube and this kind of thing. But the negative side of things has been that it's a revolution now, and I think it's going to get worse. That every sort of 2 or 3 months there's something new on the market that someone can go, and it's not proven and it's not been tested, and they go and they mess about. Like one of my students nearly died actually from the Brazilian butt lift. And she loved it so much she would never butt out. She actually went back, and it had leaked, and she had it redone because she loved it too much, you know. So she was actually prepared to go through that in order to, you know, to stay the person that she was. And this is what I'm saying, you know, it's really natural now for all of my students to have had fillers. All of my students are like having Botox. If they haven't had Botox, they want to have it, but they're not just having it, they're having it regularly, you know, like every 3 months. And so there's this huge pressure, and I'm really glad that I'm not in that thing anymore, that era anymore, because for me, we didn't have any of that. You know, when I was young, we had collagen, which was banned because I think it's animal. Anyway, it was banned. We had silicone, and there was a lady, what was a lady, looked like a munchkin, because they put silicone in her face and she had to have it cut out. That was all you had. You know, we didn't have that. And I think I didn't come from the culture of cosmetic surgery, whereas they do now. You know, all of the girls, they all network, they all know the doctor, and, you know, so it's not a good thing.
And I think also, like, back in the days, like, it was only accessible to like celebrities, so we kind of dismissed it with like, oh, we can't afford that. But now it's so cheap. You can buy now, pay later on these things. Do you know what I mean? It's so affordable. Like, you can say £3,000, save it all. Back in the days, it's 30,000. All these extortionate, you know, huge amounts of money. But now it's so accessible and so affordable.
Yeah.
And then you've got other countries that you can get it cheaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with cosmetic surgery. I would think I was relating it more to young girls.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about myself too. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I wouldn't say no if it was safe.
So we just have to give them the best advice. Trust me, you can't stop these young girls. They're already into it. It's just like when you want something so badly. Nothing you say is anyone going to say that's
that's right.
So I think my only concern is with the young people, like, say between the ages of like 16 and 20, is that they haven't fully developed yet. And I think there's not much talk around. I don't know what the doctors are saying, but clearly the doctors are doing these, or the surgeons are doing these operations or plastic surgery or whatever it is. I just think that they haven't fully. I wouldn't say they're allowed to make their own decisions, I guess, and they can be happy and stuff. But I just think they haven't fully developed. You know, the body hasn't fully developed. So I think they should give it some more time to, you know, age nice. Because when you from 16 to 18, and then from 18 to 21, you look different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You start feeling like you start growing. There's different things happen to your body. So that's just my only concern. But I'm not.
And you have to have these things redone. So when you think about like the boob implants, which a lot of my students have got, they have to have them replaced. I think it's every 10 years. And one of my girls has had two replacements. But they don't, as far as I know, some of these things you do need to redo. So if they have it done at 20, then at 30, they may decide then that their body has changed and they don't want to have that size breast anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? And all these trends, like, you know, the trend now is to have a big bum, isn't it? The Brazilian booty. But before, like in some of my earlier days, it was popular to have no bum, you know, to be skinny, like no bottom at all.
True.
So some of these things are trends, and you know, what will happen in 10 years' time if the trend then is to have a smaller bottom and you've decided to plump for this massive bottom? Do you know what I mean? And talk to other women as well, because a lot of these places now, they've got forums, you know, where women, like, you can join a group and loads of them have had surgery, and you can talk to them about who their surgeon was and how they've recovered, and they show before and after pictures and that kind of thing. And I think that's quite important as well. Know who the surgeon is, know the experience they've had, you know, make sure you get pictures so that you know.
Okay, it was lovely having you today. Before we go, what advice do you have for the viewers in regards to the topic plastic surgery?
Well, my advice really would be what I was saying before, which is to, I know certain things, certain surgeries can make you feel better. I understand and appreciate that. But sometimes if you're not happy with yourself, you could change your whole body and still not be happy. So it's actually really, I would say, about knowing who you are and why you actually want that. You know, are you doing it because, you know, this person on Instagram did it and you think that you wouldn't only be attractive if you look like that? You know, if you're certain that you want something, then obviously as I say, I've got so many students to have it done, but I just encourage women to maybe just, you know, wait. Wait. If you want it done, wait for a while, you know, see if that passes. And if you feel the same way, like in a year or in 2 years, then you know that's the right decision for you to make, and then make it, because it is a big decision, especially if you're changing yourself, like you're changing your breasts or you're changing your bum or something like that. You know, this is quite a big decision. So, and talk to people, find out, get research, you know, make sure that it's the right person. And that's really my advice. My advice is everybody's beautiful anyway. So we really need to think seriously about what we want done, and if we make that decision, then make sure you get good support and make sure you get a good surgeon.
Amazing.
So where can people find you, Deborah? Where's your social media? Where are you at? Where can we find Deborah?
Oh my God, I'm everywhere. If you Google Deborah Jay Kelly, so I don't know if it's up on the screen, but it's the old spelling, Deborah. So Deborah Jay Kelly. I'm sort of all over Google, really. I've got a website, which is deborahjkelly.com. I've got skincare range, which is Celebrity Red Carpet Skincare.co.uk. I've got model diaries. I must just show you. I can't go without this. I want to plug this.
Wow, amazing.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Model diary. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, and this is model diaries, themodeldiaries.co.uk. But this is, as I say, this is the bestseller, and obviously all different cultures and interviews and diaries where people sort of talk about the depths in them, you know, the truth behind them. So yeah, that's it. And Facebook, Deborah Jay Kelly, and Insta, Deborah Jay Kelly, and it's about everywhere, really.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I believe the viewers will so enjoy the show, because I enjoyed the show.
I had a blast. I had a blast.
Yeah. So wish you the very best. This is all we have for you. We really, you know, was an honor having you. Thank you for joining us.
It's an honor being here.
For sharing your story. You were very open. You shared a lot with us. We do appreciate it. And we wish you the very best. And we hope to have you again sometime in the future.
Oh, thank you. And it's been wonderful talking to both of you. Thank you very much. Bless you. Many blessings.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so this is all we have for you today. For everyone watching, we really hope you've enjoyed the show. Until next time, bye for now.